Hello, I am Lackadaisical Lester, or so is my online persona. Now, I have been called many names: a far right ideologue, a racist, a bigot, someone who's filled with hatred. And to these claims, these labels, I simply say, no, I'm not. I don't believe that it makes me a member of the so called far right because I care about the state of the nation which my great grandchildren will experience. A little bit of foresight, a little bit of projecting into the future. And you can see that at the rate we are going, America will no longer exist. People claim that this nation was founded for everyone, but this is simply untrue. The Bill of Rights and the 1790 Naturalization Act make it very clear what the foundational principles of this nation actually were. And it was not to be a multicultural melting pot in which all cultures are turned into nothing. I have spent time working in kitchens in the past, and let me tell you what occurs in a melting pot. Everything gets boiled down and reduced into the same thing. Multiculturalism, diversity, melting pot theory is not preserving cultural heritage. It is the destruction of all which enter. This is not up for debate. This is what happens. In reality, the melting pot is not doing such a good job of melting. We currently have many fifth columns which self segregate and even go to battle with one another. Thankfully, not on any large scale yet, but this is what's occurring. And at the current trajectory, we will in this nation experience the wars of the third world within our own borders. We are already there. They're already here. That's the reality. It is not a quarter to midnight. Midnight occurred in 1965. Since then, we have seen demographic change, which was promised to never occur. I believe the exact wording was that the 1965 Civil Rights Act and the Hart-Celler Act were promised that they would not change the fundamental nature and makeup of the nation. Clearly, this was a lie. Whether true believers in their naivety or malicious agents against the American people, at this point, it's of no consequence what the intention was. Here we are here, surrounded on all sides by people who are openly hostile to anybody who looks like me. Now, of course, there are plenty of non white people who are amazing people, intelligent, creative, etc. And to that I say, why not develop your homeland? There is such a thing as the brain drain, in which we import all of the best people from these nations, inevitably leading to the crumble of their homeland. This must be ended. We ought to overturn the Hart-Celler Act and reinstitute the 1790 Naturalization Act. Undo birthright citizenship. Anyone who does not have at least two sets of great grandparents who are true born American of a pan European descent ought to be denaturalized and deported. And I know that sounds harsh, it sounds mean, it sounds cruel. And perhaps in the very beginning it will be. But the reality is that if you love a multicultural world, the best people of those individual cultures and nations must stay in their homeland lest they fall into decay and disrepair. This is not about ranking the races. It is simply acknowledging that if we continue on the path that we are currently on, white people, those of European descent, will cease to exist. And if to that you say, so what? I'm not talking to you. If it is an issue, then I suggest you speak out, at least in your personal circles. Explain what is going on. Take legal recourse when you can. There are plenty of groups online in which you can sharpen your skills of rhetoric in order to more effectively communicate your position. If you feel the need, there are groups that exist in real life that are organizing and creating intentional communities, whether it be Return to the Land, PF. Are they feds? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Do what you can with what you have where you are. I'm paraphrasing Teddy Roosevelt.